Before I get to the calls, I want to get into NBA free agency for reasons. Number one, we have this discussion about LeBron James. And let me state for the record, LeBron James, yeah, he can get on my nerves sometimes. I think he's passive aggressive. I think rather than talking to you man to man about something, there are too many other people that speak up on his behalf, giving him plausible deniability. For the most part, he is above the fray and should be because, damn it, he's that great. But sometimes I just think he's ultra with his passive aggressiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all. There's nothing else to say about LeBron James. As we sit here today, understand that LeBron James is still one of the greatest players we've ever seen in our lives. Understand that LeBron James missed 27 games last year, pretty much 18 being legitimate because he missed 17 straight and 18 out of 19 or whatever the case may be because of that groin injury he suffered. And we talk about him like he's past tense. Ladies and gentlemen, in 55 games last year, LeBron James averaged 27.4 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 8.3 assists. He did it while shooting 51% from the field and 34%, 33.9 to be exact, from three-point range. He had one of the worst free throw shooting seasons of his career. He's a career 73.6% free throw shooter. Last year, he shot 66.5%. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James missed 140 of his 418 free throws. Do you realize that if LeBron James had made half of them, he'd have averaged close to 30? See, we sit there and we talk. Everybody want to talk. Oh, the Greek freak. No. This is LeBron James. This is LeBron James. You can act like you don't know. You can act like you don't remember. But that's just stupid. Before LeBron James went down on Christmas Day in Golden State, LeBron James was a top 3 candidate for league MVP honors. That's a fact. Top 3. He was balling like that. It just amazes me how everybody wants to sit up there and just dismiss him. Or Kevin Durant, a career 27-point per game scorer. We want to talk about him like he's past tense. Kawhi is great. But you know what? Kawhi is one of those dudes that has to get to his spots to do what he needs to do offensively. Kevin Durant don't have any spots. Kevin Durant don't need to find any spots. He's just that freaking great. He's Kevin freaking Durant. You know who he is. Y'all know who he is. I mean, what are we talking about here? Kawhi Leonard putting on display that there's levels to this and Greek Freak ain't on it yet. Why are we acting like we don't know? Why are we acting like we don't know? Speaking of free agency, some stuff percolating in that world too. I happen to know that Kawhi Leonard has been advised to go to L.A. People have reminded him about how great his situation was. You might have wanted to leave personality-wise. You might have clashed with LeBron, but you two on a basketball court together was like poetry in motion. Let's revisit that. Kyrie has listened. But you also hear that Kyrie is incredibly tight with KD. And because they're so tight with each other, KD and Kyrie, because they're so tight with each other, chances are they're going to be playing together. It's going to be in New York. And whether it's going to be the Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets remains to be seen. You go to the Nets, you go to a better situation, no doubt. You go to the Knicks, it ain't about Steve Mills or Scott Perry. It'll be KD's team. Kevin Durant, if he comes to New York, they will give him anything he wants. They'll give him the coach he wants. They'll give him the executives he wants. They'll give him an avenue. They'll give him all the money they can. They will give him anything he wants. Period. Kyrie gonna get his money, but nobody feels that way about Kyrie. KD is a different animal. KD can announce to the world right now, I'm not healthy enough to play. I can't play in the NBA Finals. I think I'm going to be out the entire 2019-2020 NBA season. And as of 6 p.m., June 30th, which is when free agency eligibility begins, because remember, it was usually at midnight, July 1st, but it was announced this morning. It's been moved up about 6 hours. Let me tell you something right now. 6 p.m., June 30th. 29 other teams would be at KD's door looking to give him the max if they got it. He don't have to worry about nothing because they know how great he is. They truly do. KD ain't going nowhere. I don't mean he's not going anywhere like he's going to stay and go to state. What I mean is he's going to do what he wants to do. They'll give him the money even if he can't play the entire year next season. And they'd be smart to do so. I know I'd do it. If I were the Knicks organization and KD said, I can't play, but I want to come, I ain't going to be eligible until October of 2020, how much you want to make a bet? I'd give him every penny. I wouldn't hesitate. Because that's how much he means to a franchise. And Kyrie, you want me to take Kyrie? Done. I ain't taking Kyrie by himself, depending on the team. But for KD, whatever you want. I mean, hell, I've heard the name Quinn Cook when it comes to KD and the New York Knicks because that's his man. And they could both go. I don't know, but that's what you hear. It's getting very interesting because we're talking about all of these teams, but really it's the Clippers, it's the Lakers, it's the Nets, it's the Knicks. You're not hearing about anybody going to Chicago. You're not hearing about anybody going to Dallas. You're not hearing any of that. You're hearing those 4 teams, 2 of them in New York, 2 of them in L.A. or Golden State, and whether or not they're going to keep Clay, Kevin Durant, or both. That's what you hear. So it's going to be real interesting to see where things go from here. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Corey. You're live with Stephen A. What's up? Corey, go ahead. I'm all right. You're live on the air.
Because I feel like it's being told that he has to have superstars come with him. But when you look down the list at who's really a free agent, I think the only superstars that he should be targeting are Clay, Kemba, and maybe Kawhi, obviously from L.A. But other than that, I think he should go down the list because you got guys like Goran Dragic, whatever his last name is. You got guys like
you don't even know the last name.
No.
You don't even know the last name.
2 teams that have been proven to be superstar teams so far, and that is the Golden State with KD, and that is LeBron in Miami. Other than that, everybody else has drafted their super team. I don't understand why he needs a superstar when he's averaging 28 with a young core around him. I think they need somebody who's proven in the league that can score and play defense.
Well, stop right there. Here's the issue. You're looking for somebody to also carry the mantle from LeBron because he's 34, and how often can you depend on him to do what he's been doing? And I think that's where you got people thinking about a superstar. And not only that and the cap space available, because if you got $38 million, okay, you can spend it on 2 decent players, but that ain't what wins you championships in today's NBA. Not when you got juggernauts in Golden State like you have. So you got to come with something more. But nice try, Corey. I appreciate it. Let's go to Jamie. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Jamie?
Hi, Stephen A. How are you?
I'm all right. Go ahead.
Stephen A., 2 quick things. 1, let's say that Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors get to the Golden State Warriors, who does Kawhi guard in your opinion? A guy like Steph Curry, who's the shooter, or Draymond Green, who seems to be a playmaker?
No, I personally believe what you do is you put Kawhi on Clay. On Clay or Draymond. You don't want him chasing Steph Curry all over the floor, because the one thing that's deceptively beneficial to Steph Curry that nobody gives him enough appreciation for, he's always moving without the ball. He's rarely standing around. And they set picks and screens for him all day long. You're Kawhi. If you have to fight through all of that, it will undoubtedly compromise your offensive production.
Okay. And then really quick, because I'm a big professional wrestling fan, and I love great tag team matches. And I'm thinking that next year the NBA becomes a sort of tag team league. And I'm thinking, and I got a feeling you're going to like this, a Battle of Los Angeles, Stephen A., between Kawhi Leonard and Kemba Walker on the Clippers and LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. What do you think about that?
In what? In what kind of? In what? A wrestling matchup?
No. Just like that. Those two tandems, going against each other in the Staples Center.
All right. So you're saying what? LeBron and Kemba and who?
No. LeBron and Kyrie reuniting, and Kemba and Kawhi.
That would be nice. That would be interesting. That would be compelling. No question about it. I still would find myself to some degree giving those Kawhi and Kemba an edge because of who they'd be playing for and Doc Rivers and the team that they've assembled. But I mean, it could go at either or. It's a pick 'em. I can't knock that. I can't necessarily knock that. No doubt about it.
By Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A., last week it's 2-0, and you and I agreed it was a wrap. Since then, Milwaukee has suffered its first 3-game losing streak, and I feel like I got popped in my jaw, and it's like a standing 8 count. I can't imagine what I'm seeing. What's changed in your opinion?
Well, first of all, we all look like fools right now. You ain't alone, SVP. That's the reality of the situation. But there's no shame in being made to look like a fool by Kawhi Leonard,
right,
because that has been the difference in this series. They were down 0-2. What happens? Nick Nurse makes the adjustments of putting Kawhi Leonard on the Greek Freak. You know what the Greek Freak strength is. He's got the ball in his hands, and he's coming at you full steam ahead. From the moment he gets past half court, he's looking to get into the lane, and you had someone like Kawhi Leonard able to stymie his path to the paint as much as you possibly can. And of course, he had help. As a result, the Greek Freak, the dominant player inside, has been virtually non-existent. The Greek Freak, the playmaker, can't do but so much to create open shots for a bunch of guys that can shoot when standing still and uncontested. But when contested and forced to put the ball on the floor, they ain't the same. And then you've got Kawhi Leonard on the offensive end dropping 15 to 35 in the fourth quarter. You got Kawhi Leonard defending. You got Fred VanVleet coming off the bench and dropping 7 3-pointers. This is what the Toronto Raptors did. Their bench showed up. Milwaukee's bench hasn't shown up, particularly in the last 2 games. That's why Toronto is up 3-2, and that's why the Milwaukee Bucks are on the brink of elimination, going back to Canada in Drake's house with him waiting. It's a bad, bad time for the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
It is that. And look, Toronto historically has been one thing, right? Closeout game at home, opportunities to seal the deal, but they've never had Kawhi Leonard. So for me, whatever Toronto's history was in an inability to close is null and void, because now they have Kawhi. And Charles said on TNT, and I agree, Toronto has to look at Game 6 like Game 7, because if they don't win there, the Bucks at home in Game 7 might be too much. What's your sense of what happens in Game 6?
Well, I agree. Well, I agree with you there, but I would tell you the reason why they've had difficulty doing those things in the past is because they kept running into LeBron James. That was their kryptonite.
Sure.
He's gone, plus Kawhi Leonard is there. So definitely that assists them. But you certainly have to approach it as if it's a Game 7. You don't want Milwaukee to rebuild momentum by stealing Game 6 on your home turf and you having to come back to the States on their home turf to deal with them in a Game 7. That's just not going to bode well. But right now, you've got to give Toronto Toronto the edge. The momentum is in their favor. Their bench is playing very, very well. Whether it's Powell, whether it's Van Vliet, or anybody else, these guys have shown up and they've responded to the challenge. And they have a superstar, not a star, a superstar in Kawhi Leonard. He is simply something special, man. He's on one leg practically. Dropped 15 of his 35 in the fourth quarter. They couldn't do anything with him. They have no answer for him. And I don't see how they're going to get one within the next 48 hours, to be quite honest with you.
I'm done making predictions, man. The last time you and I spoke about this, I was incorrect. I'm just going to watch Game 6 and see where it takes us, and we'll be watching you tomorrow morning. Stephen A. Smith, appreciate you always, my man.
I'm right with you. I ain't making any prediction. I've been wrong too much thus far in this series. I'm saying I'm neutral.
Like Switzerland. That's you. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Switzerland, my man.